Ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona beat Brest 3-0 in the Champions League after a tremendous performance from Robert Lewandowski, and I will gonna include there Pedri. I think that Pedri absolutely danced on the field today, and I want to analyze this game because even with this performance 3-0, I'm still thinking we are not the same side that we were about a month ago. Lamine Yamal, might that be the only factor influencing this sort of performances? Let's analyze it. Who do you think is right now the most important player for Barcelona? Because for me, certainly, it is Lamine Yamal. Answer me that question in the comment box down below, and let's just get straight into it. What's going on, guys? ¿Cómo están? BugaLuis here, and welcome back to another match reaction here on the channel. Another unscripted video, just like I always like to do with you guys. And like we always do as well, let's start off right away by taking a look at the starting lineup that arrived for this game. Iñaki Peña now, Barcelona's starting 11. That's a tremendous feat. And honestly, like Chesney said, there's still no reason to change him, so I'm okay with that. In the back line, Barcelona went with Jules Koundé, Pau Cubarsí, Íñigo Martínez, and Gerard Martin, who actually performed, I think, better than all of the other matches that he's had previously. So congratulations to him. You were your own MVP. In the double pivot, we went with Marc Casado and Pedri. And then behind the striker, Dani Olmo, Rafinha, and Fermin Lopez. Initially, we would have thought to see Dani Olmo playing on the left-hand side of the midfield, but no, this time around, it was Fermin Lopez. We've seen Hansi Flick try this very early on in the season as well previously, and right now, we are lacking. We are missing another left winger. We are missing Ansu Fati, Ferran Torres, maybe so. And then in the striker position, Robert Lewandowski. And I want to start off discussing Robert Lewandowski, but first, let's head into the lineup from Brest. They went with Marco Bissot, Kenny Lala, Brendan Chardonnay, Julien Le Cardinal, very French names, my guys, Masadio Haidara, Hugo Magnetti, Edelmison Fernandez, Maidi Camara, Doumbia as number 9 in a number 10 position, Abdallah Sima, and then Ludovic Ayorke, big tough guy. I think he stands at like 197 centimeters, something crazy like that, so very big man. And another very big man indeed is this guy right here, Robert Lewandowski. Robert Lewandowski, 100 UEFA Champions League goals. He is right now the only other player in history that can sit in the table in the Champions League with Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Lewandowski, people forget, I think, how crucial, how vital, how prolific of a goal scorer Lewandowski is and has been for many, many years. We're talking about a legend, really, of the game. Someone that, I don't know, guys, by the end of his career at Barcelona, do you think that Robert Lewandowski will be considered a legend at the Camp Nou? Do you think he will consider of that stature? I certainly think so. I really do think he could be considered more of a legend. And I'm going to give a hot take. I think he might be even more of a legend than someone like... I was going to say Neymar, actually, in my head, but that hot take sounded so bad when I said it. Well, I was going to say it out loud. So scrap that. But he's a legend in my book, no matter what. I mean, Neymar still won the Champions League and that and a treble and formed the best partnership ever in the history of the sport. So maybe that's a little bit of a stretch too far. But I think Lewandowski is just below that mark of legends at Barcelona, and certainly I would consider him a tremendous player and someone who is actually very nice to watch. I mean, since the first time he came into the team 2 seasons ago, you could just see the jump in quality that he brought to the team and he brought to the side. And I think that with Hansi Flick now, we are really watching the best version of Lewandowski at Barcelona since he arrived. There was a period with Xavi that he played also very good. I think that the start when their relationship was building was kind of a green period, a purple patch for them both. But now, after a few, you know, that relationship built, some few substitutions here and there, some certain things happening on behind the scenes, maybe that deteriorated both of them a little bit. But with Hansi Flick, I mean, Lewandowski scoring from no matter where he is in the field, he's playing up there with the levels I've seen of him at Bayern Munich. He's certainly a little bit of a less mobile player, but I have absolutely no problem with just watching Lewandowski as he is, you know, the tremendous striker that we know he can be. And as you can see right now on screen, I'm going to show you the heat map of Lewandowski, and you will be able to see just how influential he is. Look at the heat map here. He's literally playing in and around, touching that center circle of the penalty area. He's there constantly. That is what we were missing from him with Xavi. And now he scored not only his 100th goal, but he sold his 101 goal. We're talking about someone who is only around 27 goals from Lionel Messi, if I'm not wrong. I don't know if he will be able to achieve that. I still think that he has at least 1 or 2 more seasons in the bag, but I don't know if he was gonna score, 20 plus goals in those 2 years. But I think that Lewandowski, regardless, we're talking about someone who is such a different sort of striker that Barcelona were lacking ever since Luis Suarez left the club. And I think that we're finally seeing the fruits. Is that how you say it? I think we're finally seeing the harvest, the fruit of the hard work that this transfer sort of came to be. I mean, 50 million euros was the signing of Lewandowski, if I'm wrong, and it's finally paying dividends. So I'm very happy to see that. Another player that we have to mention that had a tremendous game is my friend Pedri. And yes, he's my friend. We actually play Call of Duty together. That's a fun fact. Pedri had a tremendous game. Look at this. Pedri had a game where just look at how much of the ground he covered. Look at where he's absolutely in the field. I think that even after the substitution with Frankie de Jong, and we're going to talk about Frankie de Jong in a little bit, Pedri, oh my God, he's just insane. 88 minutes played. He had 112 touches. That's insane. An accurate pass accuracy of 90%, 84 out of 93 successful passes. Long balls, 12 out of 60. Dribble attempts, 4 successful dribbles. Ground duels, 1, 12 out of 14. This is a total midfielder performance, and I think that that's another thing we're getting to see from Pedri under Hansi Flick. We're seeing a player that's just becoming this total complete midfielder and is forming a great partnership with Marc Casado. And I think the best thing I can acknowledge and the best thing I can say is that once Gavi came in the 68th minute for Dani Olmo. So in those 20 minutes between Gavi coming in and Pedri staying on the field, Pedri actually played in the double pivot position alongside Marc Casado. I would have anticipated maybe Gavi dropping a little bit further back, but no, Flick kept Pedri as a double pivot and pushed Gavi as the number 10. And I think that's a very good or a good indication as to seeing how much of a praise Flick has for someone like Pedri. His performances deeper in the midfield have been absolutely insane, and I think we're watching a player that originally, like we all know, he started playing as a left midfielder, then he dropped in deep as a center midfielder. Now we're seeing him play almost like a CDM, double pivot sort of deep line playmaker style of player. But he can always, on 100%, no matter what the situation will be, still remain that magical player with the essence to create something out of nothing and have a tremendous control with the ball at his feet. So I think that with Pedri, we have something very special, and if injuries respect him, and I just love how Hansi Flick is constantly substituting. I don't think there's a single game that Pedri finishes like the full 90, and we're watching that constantly now, and I think that's a good habit to have to protect these youngsters, because we ran Ansu Fati to the ground, we ran Pedri to the ground, we ran Gavi to the ground as well, and now he's trying to at least keep it a little bit more controlled when we're talking about Ansu Fati, and now Pedri coming back, Gavi the same, and Lamine Yamal of course. So we have to be very careful with how we progress with these players. But I mean, Lewandowski and Pedri today, I just really needed to give them a side note because they are incredible. So then I come back to my question that I gave you at the start of the video. Is Lamine Yamal the most important player currently in the squad? I think that even Pedri had a tremendous game. Even Lewandowski was so super clinical. Lamine Yamal for me gives you something that is the utility on the right hand side, and most importantly a balanced attack, because not only is he very clinical with his decision making, which is insane that I'm saying this and he's 17 years of age. I think he's one of the best decision takers in the entire squad. But then he pushes Rafinha to the left, where I think that honestly, Rafinha on the left, I like him more than on the right. I don't know about you guys, but where do you think Rafinha looks the best? Do you think that Rafinha looks the best and plays the best in the right hand position or the left back or the left hand sided position, or in the middle? Maybe it can be as a number 10 as well. Rafinha plays so many positions right now that he can be that total forward, but I think that Rafinha for me plays better as a number 10 or on the left, or at least that's where I've seen the best of Rafinha certainly unlocked under Flick. The right hand side is for Lamine Yamal, and I think that it always gonna take a little bit to adjust yourself to new positions. I mean, Rafinha plays that in the Brazilian national team, so that shouldn't be too much of an issue. But for Barca Barcelona in this 4-2-3-1, I really like what Rafinha is doing in the left-hand side. So I would actually keep Rafinha there. I would keep Rafinha in the left-hand side and not worry too much about them pushing him to the right. So that's why I think Lamine Yamal brings you that impact. And having that impact on the field and off the field as well with those tactical decisions just makes you a different sort of player that I think can boost this team. I think that right now he's such a pivotal part to our team that I have no problem in saying he's the most vital player that we have. Like if it's a Champions League team game tomorrow, actually, okay, this is gonna sound crazy. I think that Lamine is maybe the one I really want to start. Like if I have to have a wild card that I need to play, Lamine Yamal has to start. And then actually I might say that someone like Marc Casado needs to play as well, because there's not a single player right now in our squad that is able to do what Marc Casado is able to. I think that the ground that he covers, I think that the quality that he has on the ball with those long passes and the constantly shifts constantly shifts the ball to different flanks and can change the play like that. I think we don't have that in anybody else. And with that, I think it's a perfect segue to move onwards into a player that I know that a lot of you in the comments are gonna be discussing today, and that is Frenkie de Jong. You all know, guys, that I love myself some Frenkie de Jong, and I mean I'm really backing him. I always do. But I'm just very surprised that he has not been able to fit into this team just yet. I mean, he's coming back from the injury and we still don't know whether he's at 100%, but it's almost like I agree. Like I feel that Frenkie de Jong is better not in the team at the moment, or not starting. I think that's better for him and better for the team, and that tells you a lot, because I think that until this stage I've always been like Frenkie has to go in, Frenkie has to be one of the first names in the team sheet. But now I don't think that at all. I really don't. My mind has taken a 180 completely, and I think that Frenkie is much better suited coming off the bench, or maybe even giving us some money and budget to perfect our team, because right now in the midfield we're looking good in terms of what we have. And Frenkie, I just don't know whether, of course he's going to be one of those two double pivots, but like I said, Pedri is looking as this total midfielder, and Marc Casado is the perfect CDM for our current system. So where does he fit in? That's the question that I have for you guys. And you cannot really expect a player of the quality of Frenkie de Jong, the level of Frenkie de Jong, and the price tag of Frenkie de Jong to be wasted in the CDM position, you know? So that's something very worrying. And I saw him playing with the Netherlands as well in the international break, and I think that might be worth a while to make a video out of Frenkie de Jong and what's happening to him. I really do think that might be worth a watch. So I might do that. If you want that video, let me know in the comments down below. I'm gonna be starting trying to do more videos different to this at the moment. Not just match analysis, do more videos like I used to before. I want really to do that, but I just do not have time, guys. It's a tough period. Yeah. And I guess I can just mention then, if you're enjoying this video, a like goes a tremendous way, guys. I'm hoping to get back to monetizing these videos so I can start, doing more videos for you guys, but also get something in return, which of course is very, I think, good if you're always looking to do YouTube videos. It always helps. I mean, it always helps. So yeah, if you're enjoying this video, you learn anything new, be sure to drop us a like, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll continue talking about Frenkie. And like I say, watching him in the Netherlands national team, I see a player that is lacking a little bit of confidence. I see a player that he just doesn't look to be the guy he was when he came, even a few seasons after Ajax. I think that now when we look at Frenkie and he's a sort of captain, I don't know about you guys, but also let me know about this. I ask so many questions, but it's worth a while. This question is nice. I think of when Frenkie comes into the team and Rafinha is still on the ground, and Rafinha has to give the captain's armband to Frenkie de Jong, and I go like, no, don't do that. Keep the arm tag. Keep the armband, Rafinha. Like, I just think that Rafinha is a much better captain than Frenkie de Jong. I think that Frenkie de Jong embodies the sort of like the Messi sort of captain, where you lead by example. But I mean, Messi was playing consistently, and Messi has an aura. But Frenkie, I don't think has any aura at the moment. So, and I don't know if he'll ever have. So I don't know if that's actually something that it's worthwhile for a team. So I just don't know. I think that Rafinha captain is one of the best things possible. And whenever that happens, I'm like, no, keep the armband. Keep the armband. Anyhow, guys, now I want to review a little bit of the highlights so we can talk about the team in this game, because it's the first time that Barcelona has been able to win without Lamine Yamal. So this is the first highlight that I have for you guys. We have Pedri with the chip onto Lewandowski. Lewandowski then gets fouled. Let me see if I can find it. I hate this stuff because you get copyright all the time. Then boom. I think that's a foul. I think that's a foul, guys. I think that's a foul. I think that generally it's a foul because, I mean, the sort of little feint that Lewandowski does and the ball comes after it, that's 100% a foul. And then after that, Lewandowski scores the penalty. I don't even need to show you that. That's something that always happens. But I wanted to discuss the foul. I think it's 100% a foul there. Then we have this nice ball onto Fermin. And I wanted to analyze this with you guys as well. Because I think that here, Fermin, for instance, look at that. Fermin, bang. Fermin, like, he stops, he tries to get something into it. But I think that what happens there is that Fermin's had trouble thinking. I think Fermin was offside in this play, right? So we look at this, we see Fermin running. He's certainly offside there, in my opinion. And then he just didn't have enough time to get the finish, right? Get the finish. I think that would have been a very good chance. And Fermin actually had another chance later on in the game. This one here, you're gonna see a cross from Casado onto Fermin with a header. And that could have been a good chance. This one, it's also this one I wanted to show you because I think it's showing exactly what Pedri is as a player right now. Look at it at the moment. Pedri with the ball in his feet, carrying the ball like he always does. He even gets fouled a little bit. And that's sort of what you want to see from Pedri, right? That's the sort of performance you want to see from Pedri, getting the ball, getting us further up the field. And I think that that's just perfect when it comes to having, like I said, this total midfielder. Up next, I bring you the most surprising play of the history of football. Gerard Martin actually gets an assist in this game, which is mental. So I'll take a look at this. Martin with a cross into Dani Olmo, which Dani Olmo, honestly, like that's one of those balls which is an assist. Like, I acknowledge that it's like an assist, but it's like 20% the pass of Gerard Martin and then like 80% Dani Olmo, because the way that Dani Olmo cuts inside, grabs the ball, beats the man, and then shoots, that's completely on him. I mean, Gerard Martin had nothing to do in there. And then he even celebrates like, yeah, let's go, boy. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, and Dani Olmo is just like, yeah, come on, give me a hug. Like, you're never going to get an assist again. Nah, JK. Hopefully Gerard Martin is not watching this game. And last but not least, we have this recovery from our team at the end. Rafinha gets the ball back, and then Rafinha crosses it into Lewandowski, and Lewandowski does a very nice finish onto it. And I think that Lewandowski, like, this is why he's so clinical, I think, in this new sort of level and idea that he has to his game. He's just the poacher. He's just the poacher. He's just the guy in the box. We've seen his heat map, and you can see how crucial he can be when you get those chances. So I'm very excited to see how we can deal with this and be as vital and as clinical when we see bigger teams. Why do I say this? Because Flick's team with this may not have even here the clarity to finish the chances and be as clinical as they were before. But somehow, even when one chance comes our way, we're still managing to put the goals into the back of the net. We're creating so many chances that one of them has to give. So that's the best way that I can explain this for you guys. I think that we need to be careful though, because the moment we start losing that clinical, that finishing, you know, that accurate, deadly, threatening ability to finish in every chance that we have and score backs of goal, that's when we're gonna be seeing a little bit of a problem for Barcelona. We saw it against Real Sociedad, a team that physically they were better than us, and against El Vigo, where mistakes can cost you. So if mistakes cost you and the opposition play at a higher intensity than you, I mean, you need to rely on those finishers to be as clinical as possible. So we have to see whether Barcelona can maintain this. And right now, this team, I've been saying it, I really like what we're doing. We're creating so many chances, and it's up to, it's really, for me, it's not a coin toss, but it sort of is, because we just do not know whether we're going to be able to finish those chances like we always do. It's like a little bit of luck into it. But I think that when you get yourself into those positions, luck is going to come your way. So basically, that's what Flick is opting to do. You know, the best way to win the game is creating more chances. I want to score goals. What's the best way to score goals? Create as many chances as possible. So that's what Flick is trying to do, and you have to admire him for that, because it's very risky, it's very you know, adamant, very intense, heavy, and it's paying off so far. But in the Champions League, we have to see, right? We have to see how it goes. I mean, in the Champions League so far, with all due respect to other teams, I think that Barcelona is actually doing pretty well, because look at it right now. We are second after losing from Monaco in the first game. I was not expecting us to be this high up this early in the campaign. You know, it's just second to Inter. I mean, Liverpool can get further up, but being in the top 8 in this new competition, I thought it was going to be like, it's hard. It's still hard, because look at the teams that are out. Bayern are out, Dortmund are out, Atletico Madrid are out, Milan are out, Manchester City are out, Juventus are out, Real Madrid are out, PSG are out. Even a team that's always competitive in the Champions League like Leipzig is out. So it's interesting to see how at the end of the day this is gonna line up. But I'm just very happy that Barcelona, at the end of the day, we are seeing ourselves in a good competitive against other teams, right? I feel that this is a good indication, and this is why I like a league format, that our team is doing well in contrast to other European teams. But I just want to see us head to head. I just want to see us head to head. We did against Bayern in the group stage. Now we need to take it to the next level, and that's going to be in the knockout stages. But it's certainly super important to continue and maintain ourselves in the top 8. That's super crucial, super important. Barcelona can do it, and I have no problem admitting that right now. If we continue like this, yeah, we can achieve stuff. The objective certainly has to be the 6th Champions League. I said it, guys. I said it. See you in the next one. Take care. Ciao, ciao.